Hey there, it's another beautiful day. You want to hear a story? So, my husband and I, we have been together running our business for the last 3 years. We're together 24 hours a day, side by side, all day, every day. And I've been laid up since Tuesday. That wonderful man has picked up every single bit of slack that I have left behind, and I couldn't be more thankful. But yesterday, he did something that was it just blew me away. He said, "Hey, let's clean the refrigerator together." Right? And for some reason, the 30 minutes that we spent not saying a single word to each other, back to back, focusing on our individual tasks, getting this little thing done, it was so romantic. I thought it was silly. Yeah. I know, we've been together for 14 years and cleaning the refrigerator is romantic. Let's watch some stuff.
A dude, he was hunting on this land that he ultimately ended up purchasing and building the Sedona mansion, which was only for originally a hunting lodge, but then just turned into their Christmas home, and it's got something like 13 bedrooms. It was built at the turn of the century. They were really into exotic tropical plants, and they had like this huge garden of exotic tropical plants. What's so strange about it is that they had this huge wealth, right? He was in the steel manufacturing business, and like astronomical wealth this guy did. And he also had 5 children. If you had that kind of money and that many children at the turn of the century, you would have like hundreds of descendants today. But they have 3 living relatives, right, from this family currently. All the wealth is mysteriously gone, and every single family member, apart from one daughter, died in that house.
And they only went there for Christmas.
They were only there for Christmas.
There's something hidden there. That's scary.
I don't like that.
It wasn't haunted because it was new construction, so...
I know, but could they have
Indian
built on
burial
top
ground.
of a Timakua?
Yeah.
That's creepy. So it was just their Christmas house? They didn't even go there. They didn't even live there. It was just where they visited for Christmas and all but one of the family members passed there. That's one heck of a strange coincidence. Hey you, thank you so much for stopping by. Listen, if there's something you would like me to talk about, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get it in one of my next videos. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and then come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every single day.
Laughing cow.
Laughing cow, yeah.
So remember, there's an oval cheese with the red cow, and then it has gold, like a septum piercing in its nose.
Yeah, like a bull.
Yeah. Fam, the whole time, there's no septum piercing.
There's no ring.
Yeah, there's no ring. Do you remember that or no?
Hey, I don't know for sure though.
I remember a gold ring. I remember specifically a gold ring. Cause that's what made it, I remember it from that. There's a guy on TikTok with a BlackBerry phone and he's going over all of the Mandela effects.
Oh, because it's an old tech.
Yeah. So he has the cheese without the ring.
Yeah.
He gets the BlackBerry phone, goes over it,
And he sees the ring.
A ring
and it looks proper.
Yes, bro. It's gold.
Exactly, yeah. For most of the part.
Without the ring, it doesn't look right. So.
That's crazy because I remember Laughing Cow with the ring, with the gold septum ring, right? Like they said, oh my goodness. That is so weird. How do you remember it? Do you remember it with the ring, or do you know for a fact that it doesn't have a ring? You've got to be like a loyal Laughing Cow, consumer to know whether or not it's always had it, right? Let me know, because I totally remember it with the ring.
They staged all these photos. They staged, the horse and wagon, and, they came with a hammer and a chisel, and it doesn't make any sense. There was no hammer and chisel, there was no horse and wagon, there was no Oregon Trail, there was none of that. What there was advanced technology. Now, let's take it one step further. There's tunnels that are large enough to fit railroads underneath our feet. People arrive here after they hijack and steal all these buildings. They get in these tunnels and they actually transport themselves with whatever technology is deep down within the earth, and they get to all these cities. Then they put their name on top of these buildings, claim them, and then say this is Harvard and this is Yale and this is the first, Hershey's chocolate, and this is the first Tiffany's & Co. All these different names. They traveled through the underground part of the earth to inhabit and take over all these different cities. They're coming up from underneath the earth. That's how it actually went down. There was no Oregon Trail and somebody sitting across the wagon. There might have been. Some people might have tried to go with a horse and a wagon, but they probably perished.
That is like my new favorite theory. Oh my goodness. Totally blown away. Oh, I didn't even consider that. Oregon Trail times, because of the whole Tartarian Empire and their buildings that they had here and the previous civilizations even and their buildings that were left behind, and the Oregon Trail never happened. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic. I love it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to spread that one around. Whew.
Okay, so you know how they say that the past, present, and future is all existing simultaneously? The way that we perceive time in chronological order linearly is not the way that time actually moves if the past, present, and future are all existing simultaneously. Everything in the universe starts with the Fibonacci sequence. The universe is literally composed of mathematical equations. Every single thing grows in this pattern. It's a hurricane, a galaxy, an ammonite, a succulent, an acorn. You can even see this in any fetus. Galaxies are formed this way. Like, the list goes on, you get it. When you see the Fibonacci sequence in 3 dimensions, you see it in these staircases or in a tornado. So for those that believe this block theory that time is not happening linearly, that all time is happening simultaneously, and time is happening in the 4th dimension, stay with me. What if time is happening in the Fibonacci sequence? Like, if you take a look at this staircase, every single person on this staircase, no matter what point they're at on the staircase, they can see each other. Another one made of glass, just to make you get the idea better. Like, I know this might be hard to grasp, but I feel like I'm onto something here. If everything starts and grows in this pattern, what if this is the energetic architecture of the path of our lives, the growth of our lives, and the way that time moves? In 2016, when I first opened my third eye, I had this vision of the Fibonacci sequence unwinded like this in the 3 dimension, and I saw a man go through his entire life in the Fibonacci sequence. But the bottom was the widest point and the top was the smallest point. He started his life at the bottom, at the opening, and as he went up to death and enlightenment, he got to the top. As that path narrows, though, there's less and less room. Like, pretend you're in a tunnel and you have less room for things that are unimportant. So I was watching this man go through this cycle of his life where all of these things that he thought were important no longer became important the closer that he got to death. There is something about the Fibonacci sequence that is so sacred that my brain is trying so hard to understand, because I am always getting these downloads about the Fibonacci sequence and I cannot quite put my finger on what the is. But the other day, get this download. Time moves in the Fibonacci sequence. That is how you can see all time happening simultaneously, because no matter what point you are at in the Fibonacci sequence, whether it is unwound in the 3D or it is in 2 dimensions, you would be able to see at any given point in time. Does that make sense? Or do I just sound crazy?
That is a very interesting theory. One of the things that she didn't mention that grows in a spiral is DNA. Because DNA, it does that. If you look at it, it spins, it does this. But that is an interesting theory, and it's difficult to wrap your brain around that. And I think it's because of what we've been taught. We've been taught to believe that time is linear. And based on the way that we age as people, I think that's why we have a difficulty perceiving everything as happening all at one time, because you're not the same age throughout everything. You're aging from a fetus into an old person as you pass, and it's hard to see everything happening all at once when you know how your aging process is. But that is a fantastic theory, and I love time theories.
What do you guys think, though? Are they making these UFOs here, or are they making them somewhere else? The guy just told me a story at a Easter barbecue. They thought it was a meteor crashing, he was in Ohio, and it crashed into the ground. And it was like this long pencil-lead piece of metal, and he said the shape was strange, and then it had these weird rounded edges and colors. He'd never seen anything like it. Took it to school one day, and then went back home and put it in a shed in an old paint can. Hit it. He's like, I lived in rural Ohio, basically on some farmland. My dad was working all the time. He would have never known it was there. I put it in this paint can, put it on the shelf. Next day I came back to show my other friend, and it was gone. Something took it. And so You know, it kind of reminds, it
That's
just
wild.
little bits and fragments, little pieces of this technology kind
Yeah.
of hits our, and they need it and they're looking for it.
Yeah.
It seems like they're coming here. They're coming here from somewhere else. And I
Yeah.
don't, and people go, oh, it's interdimensional. What does an interdimensional being need a craft for? What does it need a car for in their realm? You know, like in their space.
No, if it operates the same as ours, then we need to travel there as well.
Yeah, you can't go through a car wash on a motorcycle.
Well, that's fair.
Come on, fellas, keep it together. You got a little crooked there at the end and went all off topic and talking about a bunch of different things at one time. I'm sure that's just the way that it was edited. But as far as that little item that was found that was missing the next day, makes me think of what we were talking about yesterday, the Project Kona Blue, right? Maybe the government did track that item as it came into our atmosphere, and they found out where it landed, and they found out who had it and where they put it, and they went and they got it. It's just a theory, just a thought. You never know.
Oh, you know what's a conspiracy theory that I somewhat think might be real? Have you heard of the mattress firm conspiracy theory?
I heard of mattress firms, but I haven't heard of nothing about them.
Well, the reason you've heard of mattress firms is because there's so f***ing many of them. But how the f*** are they selling that many mattresses to stay in business, man? There's no way. And so the conspiracy theory is that mattress firm actually is selling drugs, and the beds are filled with thousands of dollars, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in the back. They got drugs and they got money, and that's what they're really doing. It's just the mattress firm is just a front for the crazy activities they got going on in the back.
You believe in it? That's happening?
Nah, I don't know. It's a fun one, and I could see that one. With mattresses, like, think about it. Like, when's the last time you bought a new mattress? I haven't bought one. I've never bought a mattress.
Oh, no.
I've never bought one. I was born and I had one, and I've never bought a new one. Maybe that's because I'm poor and like we just didn't have money to buy one, or we just didn't get new beds like that. Even people that do buy new beds, I think you're not supposed to buy a new one until like 10 or so years.
I know people that buy more air mattresses than a regular bed.
Yeah, and I don't think mattress firm is pushing out millions of air mattresses a year.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. They might be real. They might be selling some drugs.
That is a very popular theory. The whole mattress firm is a front for a drug operation, like they're doing money laundering and stuff like that. I've never heard that they have like drugs and money in the mattresses in the back or anything like that, but I have heard money laundering. There's a few other stores that are like that as well that I don't understand why there are so many of them, like the phone fix stores. Rental for a location like that out here has got to be in the tens of thousands of dollars per month. How can they be making that much money? I've never seen anybody going in there. Of course, I mean, the amount of time that I sit and watch the store is minimal, but still, anytime you're near there, there's nobody in there. How do they make money? Are they a front? The La Michoacana, the ice cream, right? The ice cream place. Those I never see anybody in those. There's a few of them around here, and I've never seen anybody in there. Never even gone in there myself. I think it's interesting, these places you see that there are so many of them. There's one on every single corner, you'd think, and nobody's going in there. What are they doing? Space rent alone, is astronomical out here, and there's so many of them. So. Well, that's going to be it for me today. I'm calling it here. I'm sorry for the short video, but I cannot sit in this chair another moment longer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, and come back tomorrow. I'll have some new stuff for you to watch, and hopefully we'll be able to hang out a little bit longer. Have a wonderful day.